lovely Iridium. I've got the guys with me again, Dominic McCauley and Jam. How you doing?
How do you?
You're all right, yeah.
You're almost co-hosts now, aren't you? It's like,
well,
I won't go that far.
it's a regular. It's very regular.
Certain series, I guess, yeah.
You're regular, like a lot of people's poos are, you know.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate.
What an analogy, jeez.
No, it's a pleasure having you on, guys. I actually love this show, and I look forward to it every week. No bullshit.
I'm glad, man. That's cool. That's really cool.
I do too. Good fun.
And I think that it's a bit weird. That 1986 one got. I don't know if you noticed, guys. It got a lot of views immediately. Everyone was like waiting for 86. I don't know what that was all about. But,
yeah, crazy. It's almost at 200 now.
Yeah. So unless the actual show is becoming more popular or 86 is a big year, I don't know. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see as the years go on. So we're up to 1987. This is a weekly show, as you guys know. All those people waiting in anticipation, obviously.
Oh, of course they are.
You know. And it's all killer, no filler, total frustration. If it's the first time you're watching, I know I sound boring, but the rules are, Jam's rules are, you can't repeat an album, so you can only have a track off each album from that year. Obviously, the albums are up to you, what you choose. And also the track listing has to match the actual track listing of the original album. We're actually, with 87, Jam's next rule, which is cool. We sort of had an agreement as well. We went to 11 tracks. And you could see it going to even more. I don't know, because of the CDs are just about to come in. So, you know, where you get 39 tracks on an album. So so it's going to be changing. The track listings will, you know, slight rules like that. It may even be that we have certain years that had a lot of tracks, you know, and we don't want to miss those ones either, do you? It'd be a pain.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, so a great show. I'm really enjoying it, and we're like I said, we're up to 87. It's a great year. I did notice, guys, just quickly before we start, loads of albums. And I mean, probably the most so far.
Yeah.
But a lot of them for me were not quite as good as 86. It's like albums that came out in 86. If they bought an album out in 87, it's a slight dip for me with a lot of them. I don't know about you. Everyone's got their own tastes, obviously.
I kind of understand what you're saying, but I'm really happy with the way my list turned out. So I have no complaints.
Yeah, a good year for me, I think. Just getting better and better. 88 is going to be really hard, and so is 89.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of them, so there was so much choice that it was quite easy to have. And of course, again, like you guys, I'm trying to choose ones that are not so obvious and give everyone. Because I did notice that there was some. I think Jam, you commented there was some people actually have YouTube a second tab open. So when we mention the song, they have a little listen straight away to see if they like it.
Yeah, shout out to Video Rage, man. What a great thing for him to do. I was just blown away by that.
Yeah.
We don't even do that with each other.
Yeah.
But this guy, what a star, man. That is so awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my mate Russ.
Oh, was it your mate? Oh, cool.
Yeah, I went to school with him, yeah.
And of course, you find new music. What's better than finding new music? Apart from finding a new woman in your life, maybe, if she's smart, you know. I don't know. In fact, the music's probably better. So there you go.
Music never lets you down, man.
No, you're damn right there, mate. Okay, so 87. This is the only time I remember who's going first, only because of 86 and Dominic's pure hatred in his eyes for Jam. Where Jam had about, I think it was up to about 4 out of the 10 tracks.
4 out of 10 of an entire year, man. That was something else. Yeah, I mean, obviously I was sticking it up just for, you know, but it was just incredible, just crazy. I don't think that'll ever happen again. I can't see it.
No, I don't think so.
No, definitely not. Well, I don't think it will. Maybe, hopefully you get revenge. You might get revenge today, mate.
Knock on wood, right?
Yeah, and you could get revenge today. So there you go. You're probably just trying to think of the ones that Jam will have and just choose them.
Yeah, you know, I don't even really think of that. Every once in a while, if I know that it's a favorite of somebody's, maybe I'll put something else in that, you know, might not get talked about. But For the most part, no. I just kind of do my own thing and just cross my fingers.
So 11 tracks, guys. Track 1, and Dominic's obviously kicking us off this week. Here you go, mate.
Okay. Well, track 1, man, I can't think of a better opener. This is Manowar with "Fighting the World" from their album "Fighting the World." Just a fantastic rock anthem.
Right, I'm ready. You ready? You got to do the chant. Ready? Fighting the world every single day. Hey! That's how it goes, isn't it?
Fighting the world. Yeah. Just when it starts with those drums, it's just such a raise your fist or do your sign of the hammer, But yeah, I love that song. There were lots of contenders for number 1, but this is my first chance of getting Manowar on here, and I was not going to let Fighting the World go past. So there you go.
Man, that was a bit, they digged at Manowar a little bit at the time because that was more of a commercial, I'd say. Well, that's what was said at the time. And I wasn't a big Manowar fan. I'm still not now. I like some of their music, but that was the album that I loved. I had that album. And
right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a good album, man. Really good. And it was quite catchy, some of those songs.
Absolutely, yeah.
Why not? That's what I
think. I think it's probably the production more than anything. I love the production on it, but it's definitely more. There's no dirt on that album. It's just very clean sounding.
What a singer, man! Is it Eric Adams?
Oh yeah,
Eric. Is that his name?
I think he's Eric Adams. I think he's really kind of underrated in the grand scheme of things because all anybody can talk about are their loincloths or whatever from 40 years ago. But he's really been a consistent, really good singer. So anyway, one of my favorites from them.
Great choice, mate. That's your number 1. Right, Jam.
Okay. Well, talking of raising your fists, Alice Cooper, Raise Your Fist and Yell.
Yep. Raise it and yell, yeah.
Yeah, and it's obviously first track, Freedom, which I absolutely love. I really, as soon as I was 87, I thought I've got to have Freedom as my first track. Probably the first Alice Cooper song I ever heard, actually, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know he wasn't really metal until sort of this album and Constrictor. I didn't realise he was sort of more of a rock legend, sort of, as it were. But I remember the video and Kane Roberts all Rambo'd up and all that. Brilliant. But it's a great song, sing along. I like the intro bit where he talks, and probably his most metal album until later. But great sing-along track to open my playlist. Love it.
Just a question, because I had one album of Alice Cooper's, which was Constrictor from the year before, I think, 86.
Yeah.
Was it along the same lines as that? Because I quite like that album.
It's probably a little bit heavier, probably a little bit more commercial to a certain extent, but there's some good songs in there. There's better not mention them, in case people have got them, but it's probably slightly heavier. I
don't have any. You can mention all you want.
No, me neither.
Okay, Rose on White Lace is a good song. Gale, Chop Chop Chop, Prince of Darkness. Prince of Darkness, I think, was from a film. I think there's a film called Prince of Darkness. I think that was on the soundtrack to it.
He's in the movie along those lines.
Oh, is he in the movie?
Yeah, it's a John Carpenter film, and he's in it. Yeah.
We have our movie expert as well. Dom's our movie expert as well, by the way.
He is, yeah.
I shouldn't need to know anything about movies, so there you go.
Well, horror, really. You guys can take care of the Iron Eagles and the whatever, but.
Okay, so my first choice is from a band called Dokken.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. And this is the best song on this album, in my opinion. And because this album let me down a little bit back for the attack. I like it, but it wasn't anywhere near for me like the album before, Under Lock and Key. But there was a few standout tracks, and Kiss of Death, the opening track, is just pure Lynch going off. I mean, it's probably his best performance, in my opinion. This and Mr. Scary off the same album, some of the best guitar work he's ever done. I don't know if any of you caught his recent video of him with Don Dokken. The vocals weren't good.
No. Did they just do like a live stream or something?
He came on. You're only going to get like a dodgy video from the crowd on this one. There's no proper
live.
So I think George Lynch came in at the end because they was with, is it George Levin or something? Levin, is it John Levin?
John Levin, yeah.
So I think George Lynch just came in for a couple of songs, and Kiss of Death was the first one, and the guitar work was amazing. He's taken a bit of stick. He's taken a bit of stick for doing too much, what they call ad-libbing on the guitar these days. People are saying he's just, but I mean, after like 30, 40 years of playing the guitar and playing the same song, you would, wouldn't you? You would just
you get bored, wouldn't you?
Oh, you mean they're talking about how he's not following the recorded solo or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite David Lee Roth not following, you know, what he should do.
The lyrics.
He sings. or Vince Neil, you know, it's not that bad. He's following the song, but he's, you know, you would, wouldn't you, after that many years? Most bands do. They don't play straight up. But this Kiss of Death was just an amazing, epic song.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long the actual intro goes before Don Dokken starts singing. It's got to be about a minute of mental guitaring, like riffing, and you just...
Yeah. Great song.
Great song. Great way to kick off my playlist. There you go. Kiss of Death, Dokken.
Cool. I saw them support Aerosmith on this tour. And they, of course, opened with Kiss of Death. It was quite good, yeah.
Yeah, great song. Okay, track 2, Dom. What you got, mate?
Track 2 is from a band that I really like. They only had 2 albums, but both of them were stellar. But this one was just out of this world when it came out. This didn't sound like anybody else. Production was really wild. And there's a band called EZO. They were a Japanese band, signed to Geffen, produced by Gene Simmons on this first album. This song is called Flashback Heart Attack, which is just, the whole thing is just amazing. Just this really weird gated drum sound. Really kind of, as I said, it just didn't sound like anything else that was out at the time. I didn't get to see them until their second English language album. They had a few records before this singing in Japanese, and their name was Flatbacker. That was the name of the band. But when they got signed to the US, it's EZO. But I really can't recommend this album enough. Nearly a 10 out of 10 for me, or 9 out of 9. There's only 9 tracks, but it just sounds great these days as well. I would think that hearing it for the first time would still be something special. But there you go. I'm sure there's some EZO fans out there.
Well, there is one I know. So on the 87 live stream, we all sort of vote for our favourite albums we want to include in the show.
Flower, I think.
Mark Flower, EZO.
Yeah, that man has good taste.
So yeah, he put this on his list. He didn't make it because no one else voted. So
of course, yeah.
Of course, I listened to the album straight away, you know. And,
right. Well, and you're a huge fan now, obviously. Yeah.
No. Listen, I will try. Honestly, I'll try harder.
This one really is something special, and if Mark likes it as well, it's probably his double recommendation for you.
There you go. Second time I've heard about the band. Nice one, mate. Thank you very much. What you got, Jam?
I'm going to band, and not one of my favourites, but they're on my last list actually, and they might appear again. And that's the great Lemmy and Motorhead. And I think we actually mentioned this song last time, or maybe the time before, and it's the rock and roll album, and it's Eat the Rich.
Yeah. Come on, baby, eat the rich.
Yeah, from that film that we mentioned, it's not a comic strip film, but it's got all Aid Edmondson and Rick Mayall in it and all that, and Peter Richardson, I think, directs it. It's just a great song. So I'm not a massive Motorhead fan. In fact, Motorhead songs I like are probably more the non-typical ones like Orgasmatron and this one, and there's a few more that might be coming up that not so straightforward Motorhead. Just when they go a little bit different, I quite like them. And obviously, Lemmy's never going to be the greatest vocalist in the world, is he? I mean, I like his vocals, but they're not obviously great. But no, this is a good song, Eat Rich, and check out the film if you haven't seen it. It's quite funny, a bit dated, obviously being an 87. So yeah, but yeah, good song.
Cool.
It's kind of a boogie for them. It's kind of a boogie song.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee, can you say boogie, please?
Boogie.
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 I love it. Boogie.
Yep, there you go.
That's the best. Well, I heard you say it on one other video. I don't remember what it was, but I just thought that is brilliant. Boogie. Say
Right,
what
okay.
you see, man.
There's
It's a boo, and it's a gee.
Exactly. Just don't get me to pronounce any names of anyone. I'll be all right. Okay. My second track is a Christian metal band or Christian hard rock band called Shout. So I don't know, I've mentioned them a few times in the past on other programs. But Ken Tamplin is the lead singer of this band. He's got a great voice. And they were sort of likened to Stryper at the time. But if you actually read about the band, they say they were a step above them. I don't know about that. I think they were very consistent with a couple of their albums, this one being their debut album, called It Won't Be Long. And the song is Winners or Losers. Very catchy, melodic, hard rock, great guitar work, great vocals. Really, I mean, anything you'd want from a band like that. And I suppose, yet again, a lot of people, because they're a Christian band, are put off by that. But it's a brilliant album. Just check it out if you like that sort of stuff, that really catchy stuff. They could really write a chorus. There's one, no doubt about that. The choruses just went in the stratosphere, lifted, just like ridiculous choruses. But and that being one of them, Winners or Losers. There you go. That's my second choice, guys. Shout.
Cool. What label were they on? Do you remember? I'm just curious.
I'm not sure. I think they were quite on a good label, because I think a lot was expected of them. Their production was really good as well. They're producing the mix of the albums, so it had a really big sound. Like they was.
So they weren't on like Music for Nations or something like that.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, they were. Them two albums they brought out were probably up there with anything that Stryper did at the time. Do you know?
So there's probably a bit of money behind him just to sound that good. Yeah.
I mean, he came out of that band, the Joshua band. That's how Ken Tamplin came out of them, and now he's
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the connection now. Look at you, Sly Devil.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Angel, or I don't know what we should say.
But it was weird because he was the guitarist in Joshua, and what a great guitarist.
Oh.
I think he was like the rhythm guitarist, because you had Joshua Pariah there as well. And who was that singer in the first Joshua band? It was the guy I said he was an evangelist.
And it was like a weird name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name there. But so he wasn't the singer, which was a bit strange. And then he came into this band, and he's a brilliant singer. He's even got a vocal academy now, like a lot of the singers have. He's got his own online vocal academy. He's a bit annoying,
and
though.
The guy just on guitar over there.
Yeah, he's a bit annoying though, Ken Tamplin. I don't mean to be horrible, but he's one of these really happy people. Really happy, like you could have him around for an hour, and then you'd be like, oh, look, mate, it's just too much. You know what I mean? It's like,
are you sure, an hour?
Like this, sure? But he's a great singer and a great guitarist. There you go.
Bloody American.
He's the opposite.
Have a nice day.
He's the opposite of Mark Clower. Mark Clower's like, yeah, man, you know what I mean? But Mark, I love that really mellow vibe that Mark's got.
I know, man.
I'll have that around me all the time. But
nothing phases that guy. Yeah.
Ken Tamplin, no, not so much. Okay, track 3, guys. What you got, Don?
Okay, track 3 for me is Lee's favorite, Deep Purple. This is the first single from the album House of Blue Light, which was the next one after the reunion, Perfect Strangers. But I've always loved this song. I think it's probably their catchiest chorus they've ever had. It's called Call of the Wild. I just, it's one of those songs, when I first heard it, I thought it was a bit too light for them. And I thought, well, they're really kind of getting a bit corny here. But the more I heard it, I just could not get that chorus out of my head. So I'm like, they must be doing something right. So, and it stuck with me all these years. It's still one of my favorites. And it's amazing they can come up with something this kind of really mainstream sing-along-y chorus without any outside writers. but they never really did it before or since. But anyway, great song, Call of the Wild from House of Blue Light, Deep Purple.
Is that still Mark II lineup? Is Richie Blackmore still there? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think in choruses in general, I've mentioned this a couple of times, are lacking a bit these days. It's hard to, you know, that chorus in. I don't want to keep mentioning. We are talking about the 80s, so we can actually talk about it as much as we want. But you know, when they used to really lift, didn't they? You knew it was coming, and it just used to be, whoa, listen to that, so catchy. But I think you very rarely hear that now, where you get such a catchy chorus. Sometimes now, a verse can be the best bit about a song, or the lead up to the chorus, and then that's not right. The chorus should be the thing that grabs you, shouldn't it? But
yeah, I mean, I understand what you mean. I mean, there's still songs that I like, you know, but you're right. You want just that hit there. So you listen to a song and the verse is really rocking and it's great, good riff, whatever. Pre-chorus is really getting in there, and then you get to the chorus, it's just like,
and it must be hard, man. I mean, we're going all these years, we've been going on rock and metal to come up with something that's original and fresh and grabs you. Ain't easy,
absolutely, is it? Yeah. No, songwriting is not easy. So, yeah, I don't blame them, but I think you're right.
Okay, what you got then, Jan? Cool. What's your number 3, mate?
Cool. Talking of big strong chorus, here's a song without one at all, and it is Sister Mercy from their second album, Floodlands, and it's Lucretia, My Reflection.
Dance the Ghost with Me.
Exactly. Yeah, it's one of those songs. It's a bit like Silent Lucidity. It does say Lucretia, My Reflection, but once, and that's it. Like Silent Lucidity, it says it once, but it's just a great song, great beat. I mean, brilliant when you're at a rock night or something, they put this on and everybody hits the dance floor. Dr. Avalanche is the drum machine, just keeps going. Probably not your sort of thing, Lee, but it's absolutely great song. Goth rock. I mean, if you don't listen to Sister Mercy, give them a try. They really are good. Really are good.
I've already put them on my Spotify list.
Well, I thought you would have done
my jam one,
list, just in case.
So Lee is well versed in Sister Mercy. Let me tell you.
I thought he probably would be. Yeah, I thought he probably would be.
I was just about
a great album, though.
I was just about to sing the lyrics, but Dom got in there first. See, so there you go.
All right.
No, great choice. And you've got a few people that are quite happy about some of your choices. Your gothy type. That's good. Okay. My track 3 is Lizzie Borden and Outcast from Visual Eyes. So this is an absolutely superb album. I mean, if anyone has put off Lizzie Borden by his weird look, you know, I think it adds to it myself, but there you go.
Me too, yeah.
This is my favourite album from Lizzie Borden as well. It was a lot cleaner, a lot more commercial. I think they were going for that more commercial sound on this.
It's his strongest. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and also the mix on the album made it probably stronger as well, because I don't know, they had a bit of a rough mix before that, a bit. And when he sang his high notes, for some reason, it was a little bit jarring on the ears. You know, he's got a great voice, but it wasn't the best mix, and it was sort of it didn't help his voice. But over this album and the next one, it was really cleaned up, and you could hear the power in his voice. An absolutely brilliant album. Every song I love. So it's actually my favourite album of 1987. There you go.
Is it?
Yeah, good.
Wow, yeah. Cool.
And he can still perform real well now. He's got a good vocal now. I watched some stuff. There's a good video he was doing at it was recorded a couple of years ago, and he put on the Ford stage show. He sang one thing. I don't know how he'd done it. He had like the mouth cut out so he could sing. He had like he had 3 faces on his. He had 2 ear and 1 ear. It was a bit freaky. I think he had one at the back as well. So like,
I'm glad somebody's doing that shit.
Man, it was fucking weird, because at first I'm sure he had his head turned the other way, and you thought that was his fucking. There's loads of blood in there, and he does the old shock rock stuff, like Wasp used to do, and Cooper. He does that now. So I mean,
for him, man, I'm glad.
It's cool, isn't it, if you go to watch a show and you get all that as well. I mean, what can be better? Like a horror, like watching a horror film at the same time. Absolutely superb. But Outcast is an amazing song out of an amazing album. I could have chosen any. That's one of them. Could have chosen any song. So
yeah, right. I really liked his album from about 2 or 3 years ago. My Midnight Things. I thought it was really strong.
Yeah, a bit weirder, not straightforward, but some of the songs are a bit
so a bit more Alice Cooper, where there's it's not quite as metal, I guess.
Yeah.
But I thought it was quite good. And the only thing I want to say about Visualize is it's the only album that Joe Holmes, who went on to play guitar for Ozzy for a long time, the only one that he's on is Visualize.
And I think
great guitar player.
I think on that album as well, one of the guitarists, it might have been him, that was the first time he was on a Lizzie Borden album. I think the two guitarists.
This is the one and only Lizzie Borden album he's on, yeah.
Oh, right. So he left. Yeah. Oh, so he came on this one, and he wasn't on the ones before. Yeah, because I remember reading about, and like a lot of people were like, who love Lizzie Borden, thought it wasn't a good move having these two together. Now I was like, no, what are you talking about? It's the best move they could have done, in my opinion. The songwriting again was the best. I think that's why the album's the best. The songwriting is the best.
Yep.
But there you go. Outcast, Lizzie Borden. Okay.
Excellent. My number 4 is a band called from Wales. This is Tiger Tales.
Tiger Tales, right.
Yeah, this is from their first album, Young and Crazy, when they had their original vocalist Stevie James. And this is Living Without You, which again, another just stellar chorus, just catchy as hell. They actually re-recorded this song and released it as a single with their second vocalist. But I prefer the original version with this singer. You know, the production's a bit rough and ready, you know. It's kind of like the first Poison album, you know, how that was just a bit, you know, it wasn't full on money, you know. Yeah. You can tell they were in the studio for maybe 2 weeks and they're like, okay, you got to do this now. But, you know, that's part of the charm sometimes, especially with some of these kind of real glam bands. I kind of like that rough and ready approach. But yeah, Living Without You, what a standout single for them. It's too bad they didn't really go much further, but
yeah, probably a little bit of a weird time and all coming up at the end of the 80s, isn't it? So, okay, what you got then, Jem?
Right, going for a bit of thrash metal. Anthrax, Among the Living. Definitely my favourite Anthrax album. I think I could have picked anything off here up to about, well, first 6, 7, 8 songs on here. Absolutely outstanding. Definitely my favourite Anthrax album, as I say. And it's the song Ifeanyickefesin, Nice Fucking Life. Which is Ifeanyickefesin
well
backwards.
Done. Well done trying to pronounce that thing.
It's good. It's a great song. I mean, the lyrics, I mean, wake up dead in a plywood bed, 6 feet from the rest of your life, when you couldn't see your own dependency, NFL, nice fucking life. Absolutely fantastic. It's a great song.
They went a bit more punky, didn't they, on that album?
Yeah.
Even production-wise.
Really good. It's, I say, I won't mention the other songs in case anybody's got some. There's a few at the start I can mention because we've gone past that. Yeah, Caught in a Mosh, obviously brilliant. I Am the Law, you know, and some other ones after this is great. And yeah, I could have picked anything up. It's one of them albums, apart from the last 2 or 3, like most albums, tails off a bit towards the end, but the first 7 or 8 songs are fantastic. And I really like Anthrax in this period. Probably Spend the Disease, this and State Euphoria. And even Persistent Time as well is good. And actually, I did like the John Bush one. So yeah, there's about 5 or 6 great albums that Anthrax did then. And then they went perhaps a bit dodgy, like everybody else did in the mid-90s. But yeah, great. I love Anthrax. I like a bit of humour, although yeah, it's still great songwriting and great band.
Cool. One of the big 4.
Yeah, I could definitely see Jam moshing around his house singing those lyrics on top of his lungs on a Saturday night. I can definitely see that.
I reckon he goes out on his skateboard with his cap the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, that's I'll probably fall off.
I saw Anthrax support Kiss on Crazy Nights on this tour. What a weird mix that was.
Yeah, it's a weird mix that. Well, obviously Scott Ian's a massive Kiss fan, isn't he? And Anthrax have done cover versions of Parasite and something else they've done.
Love Her All I Can.
Yeah, I think they've done a few. They've done quite a few cover versions of Kiss. Scott Ian's a big fan.
And I saw them this year, download as well. Yeah.
Really
Monsters of Rock, as it was.
Did a lot of State Euphoria stuff, didn't they? Which was good. So.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going for a bit of doom metal.
Oh.
Candlemass.
Oh,
whoa, Lee.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I love this album, Nightfall, and it's At the Gallows End.
Cool.
Very, very dramatic. The vocals make it even more dramatic, actually. I didn't really know what to think of this album. It was a bit depressing at the time when it came out. But I think that's what I liked about it. 87 was a real polished year, wasn't it, for music?
Yeah.
And it got even more so. And I think they came out and they were just proper Sabbath riffs. Like I said, the singer who looked like a monk. He actually dressed like a monk, I think. I think he had like a big robe on and everything. And he'd done that real operatic voice, and some of the songs on this album really were just about death and, and things like that. And I think it was just like, I think that's why it got me so much. I love the album. It's my favourite Candlemass album. And there's quite a few songs in here that I like. At the Gallows End it sort of like goes fast and then doomy and then speeds up and chuggy and everything you want out of a doom song, really.
Yeah.
At the Gallows End, Candlemass. There you go.
But one of them bands that I've always wanted to listen to, and I've just, you put it on your list, I'll listen to that, and then it never got round to. So I definitely try and remember to listen to them again.
To tell you the truth, I put all their albums on an MP3 or something when I was playing an MP3, and there's a lot that I didn't like. Now there's a lot. Later on in their career, they went a bit weird. They'd have like a 9-minute song that didn't go anywhere, that sort of thing. This album, every song seemed to do something, if you know what I mean. Cool. I think that's the problem with doom. Sometimes they can go a little bit too weird. But I'm not. I mean, I like bands that sort of have a bit of doom in their music and sort of mix it up a little bit. You've got quite a few of them. There's a great band called Sorcerer, if any of you want to add it.
I've been listening to that album, actually.
Yeah, they are. They're sort of like metal stroke doom. They sort of mix it up.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Clower put me onto them.
All right. And you actually listened to something that he recommended?
Yeah. I actually did. I know. Well, I like Mark a lot more than you two, so there you go.
We know.
I'm only joking, obviously. I love everyone the same. I love everyone.
Of course.
Yeah. Candlemass, At the Gallows End, doom metal. Nothing wrong with that. Let's get a bit of that in there. Okay. What you got then?
They were doom before they were even calling it doom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were doom and stoner way back before any of that happened.
And I think this was their second album. I think this is their second album. It was Epicus something.
Doomicus.
Yeah. I know. But this is the first time I actually heard the band. So I think that's why it stuck with me, this album. There's probably a lot of really good music in their repertoire, but it's just the one that you remember in it. That's why.
Of course, yeah.
There you go.
Okay. For me, number 5 is Twisted Sister from Love is for Suckers.
Ooh.
We've kind of discussed the post We're Not Going to Take It years of Twisted Sister. I think it's more of a case of really misjudged singles, giving the impression that the album is just crap or whatever. Anyway, this one, I think this has got some great tracks on it. Apparently, it was meant to be a Dee Snider solo album, but the record company changed their mind at the last minute and made them call it Twisted Sister, and put them on tour, which only lasted for a month. And then they broke up.
Yeah.
So things were great in the camp, but this song is called Tonight. And it's just a great slice of 87 pop metal, really good chorus, all about rockin' tonight, all the stuff I love. It's just really good. Yeah, I think a lot of these bands that were going for the commercial thing, if you get into side 2 of their records, kind of you get more of what the band is about rather than the record company telling them, we need a single, So I think a lot of these overlooked albums at the time do have something to offer.
Yeah. Did you did you like the we probably mentioned it before, I'm an idiot if I have, but the Dee Snider single, the new one, did you hear it? Did you like it?
You even mentioned me in the video. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So quite metal.
Yeah,
it was pretty metal.
It was pretty metal. I think there's a reason why you were practically laughing throughout the entire thing. Every time you came back, you were just laughing. And it's one of those things where it's fairly goofy and to have those lyrics in 2021, but it does bring a smile to your face. So I guess that's the whole point, right?
Oh yeah.
But the song itself is fucking heavy, and it's got some really good riffs. He's got a nice little band behind him. So I think the music was great. Yeah.
He just needs to shut the fuck up on social media. There you go.
Oh, well, I don't follow any of that. So I'm completely oblivious to their musings. They can go off if they want. Yeah.
There you go. But no, the music's done the talking on that track for sure, mate. Good choice. Okay. What you got then, Jan?
Right, I won't dwell too much because I think we've done the list on this, but it's from Crazy Nights, Kiss's album from 14th album, released in September, and it's the song Hell or High Water. This is actually my first, I think I mentioned this on a live show, this is my first ever album I ever owned that I got for my birthday when I was 13 or whatever it was.
Amazing.
And it's still pretty good condition. So I won't talk too much about this. I think it was mentioned on the live show. Some people didn't like this album. I think it's one of Kiss's better ones, certainly from the non-makeup era. Some really good songs on it. I could have picked pretty much anything off this album.
Yeah,
very good songs, but it's good.
Generally, it's not really regarded. I think it's more the production, and it's probably the glossiest thing I've ever done. But
I like it.
I certainly found tracks that I like on it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've definitely preferred this to Hot in the Shade that come out a couple of years afterwards. And I think it's more consistent than Animalize and Asylum, personally. Definitely probably the best album for me since Creature of the Night. And probably up until Revenge. So a good album. Yeah, so I could have put it tonight. It's just Hell or High Water is one I've gone for. Gene sings vocals on this one.
Yeah, that's the Gene one. Yeah. You said the first time you saw Kiss was on this tour as well, right?
Yeah, my first ever live show was Kiss as well, and it was on this tour. Yeah, I think it was probably 88.
Cool.
But it was first ever gig, first ever album. Not bad.
Fantastic.
Cool. Good choice, mate. My track 5 is, I think I mentioned this band before on an earlier show, but Pretty Maids. Danish
you didn't
band.
Like the name, it was too
girly.
I mean, it could, especially, I don't know, if talking in England, it was probably put some people off. Do you know what I mean? It probably did, maybe.
Put me off.
But a great band from the. There you go.
Did Jeff said it? Did you just say it did put you up?
Yeah, there you go.
Just a band called Pretty Maids.
There you go. See, I was right.
I ain't listening to no fucking Pretty Maids.
Same as probably Lizzie Borden as well. To be honest, probably why I didn't listen to Lizzie Borden.
It could a name can be so much, can't it? It's very important. So
it didn't stop you from listening to Alice Cooper, though.
That's true. That is true.
anyway,
well, Alice in Chains.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, this band produced their best album for me, Future World. It's their second album. This was a huge album for me. Every track on it is great. Apart from it does, like you said, Jam, tails off a tiny bit at the end, but I think there's only 9 tracks on it, so it's just short and sweet. But the first few tracks are just absolutely amazing. There's some better tracks on this album, but Rodeo is still a great one. It's just where it filled in on your sick rules. That's what it was. Rodeo is the song, and it's really catchy. Ronnie Atkins has got a great voice. I almost, when the time was where you didn't hear much because of no social media back then, I actually thought there was 2 singers in the band when I first heard them, because he's got this when he sings sometimes in the verses until he picks up, he's got like a real rough edge to his voice when he picks up. So he's sort of almost like Joe Elliott. Where Joe Elliott used to have that sort of talking sort of voice, and then he would have that raspy bit, and until he got to Hysteria, and then he just did the talking nearly all the time. But you know what I mean, didn't you? He had that rough edge to his voice. That's what Ronnie Atkins has got. He almost sounds like 2 different singers. it's a bit strange. But great. Let's just plug his solo album out, by the way, that came out this year. And he's really ill as well. You know, he's got cancer and he's not well at all. But he made a solo album.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I thought he had the clear now.
Oh, I hope he has, mate. But I haven't kept up with that. Last time I heard, he was stage 4 and it weren't looking good.
Oh, right. Okay. I may have seen something that.
I think he might have given the all clear once and then it came back. I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm the one that hasn't been caught up here.
Yeah, it might be that way around, but I'm not sure. But his album's really great. It's a little bit, say, a lot of solo albums are probably a little bit more melodic than Pretty Maids. But Pretty Maids are quite melodic anyway. But a great band and difficult, I suppose, in them times when you're not American, because it was all about America, wasn't it, in the 80s, mate? So, you know, yeah, exactly. But Future World is their best, for me, their best album. I think it's sort of known by the fans as one of their best as well. Check that out, guys. Put it on your Iridium playlist.
Will do, yeah.
Okay, yeah, And actually, you know, I heard that record a few times. I was already working record stores by '87. I remember hearing that a few times and liking it, but for whatever reason, I just never followed up, and I haven't heard it for years and years. But I do remember it was a decent record. But oh well, it's one of those things. You can only do so much, man.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Okay. Number 6 is Halloween with Future World. Hey. Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with Pretty Maids, but there it is. That's the album. I'm not going to pretend that I am a huge Halloween fan. Some of their stuff, as with a lot of power metal, it's just too fucking fast. Like if they just played a straight 4/4 or whatever for most of their songs, I'd probably be a lot more into them. But they just kind of take it off into some crazy, but certainly not their singles around this period. And Future World is just balls out rock and roll song. You know, it doesn't have any of that funny double bass, you know, histrionics and shit. Great song though, love it. Don't know what else I can say. I think you two are actually probably bigger fans than I am, but there certainly are songs that have stood out for me for them through the years, and this was one of them.
I'm not a particular big fan of them. I like them 2 albums, the Keeper albums. Didn't like the Walls of Jericho. That's probably like blasphemy for Halloween fans. And then I didn't follow them after that. But I liked a couple of their singles that have just come out. So the new album's out this Friday. So what I've heard so far does sound very good. So that's the extent of my fandom with Halloween. I haven't heard anything after Keeper 2. So there you go.
I've heard a lot more.
Sam has a legendary rant on the Bad Albums video.
Yes.
For Chameleon and for the one with the lady eating the fish or whatever that's called.
Yeah, pink bubbles go away. Yeah. They won't be getting in there, but they've done some good stuff after that.
We talked about band names that put people off. Sometimes album titles can do the same as well, can't it? Yeah. There you go. Right. Okay. What you got, Jan, for your number 6?
Number 6 is a band I mentioned before that I never thought I'd be listening to when I was a young man, and that was Marillion. And it's from Clutching at Straws, their 4th album, and it's the single, but I still love this song, and it's Incommunicado. I think it charted quite highly in the UK. I remember them being on top of the pops. A slight controversy before anybody puts any notes. It is track 6 on the vinyl. On the CD, it is track 7 apparently. So I haven't got the vinyl to prove it, but I've gone with the vinyl. It's track 6. So there we go. And it fitted in better in my list as well, being at track 6. So that's even better. But no, great song, sing-along song as usual, and. I like the first 4 Marillion albums. In fact, I like the first one with Steve Hogarth. Is it Steve Hogarth? I think so. It's the second singer. I liked some of the stuff off that as well. I'm not a massive Marillion fan by any means, but the good songs are really good, and this is one of them for me.
I want to know one thing: if you wanted that song on your list so bad, and you wanted it on track 7, would you have chosen the CD version for this show?
I couldn't possibly comment.
You know, I just had to ask that. You know what I mean?
Holy.
You've got to twist the rules wherever you can, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? You got to do it. There you go, just to get where you want. Okay. Well, my track 6 is from a great, I say, underrated band. Came quite late, metal band, I would say. A little bit of power metal, you could say as well, but mainly metal. It's Sabotage and Hall of the Mountain King, the title track.
Yeah.
What a brilliant track. Yeah, that's exactly what I love about that guy's voice. He does.
So
that.
do I. I love when he does those little.
No one else can do that, can they? That whatever it is, I don't know what he does. It's brilliant though.
Yeah, just those little things that he puts in there are so great.
Yeah, that's an evil sounding song because of his vocals. He makes it sound really fucking evil. That song. It's even a bit doomy, I would say. Got a bit of doom in there, definitely.
Yeah.
But
they definitely weren't the same animal that they ended up being.
Yeah, a brilliant track, and obviously, he had some. Later on in their career, they lost the guitarist through tragic circumstances. But you know, these few albums here, this one, the next one, and the one after that, are just fantastic. And I've heard they're looking at new music as well. They're working on new music with the Bat singer. Is it John Olivia? Is it? I think his name. Mm-hmm. They're working on new music, and apparently he's got 3 albums worth. You know, just get rid of the 3, just make it one good one. Yeah. One fucking excellent one. Take all those 3 albums, just condense it to one brilliant one. Thank you very much. So there you go.
But then again, you know, sometimes I hear bonus tracks and shit like that, and I'm like, this is better than anything on the record, so they can't be trusted to choose the right track.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Send it to us, and we'll choose.
Yeah.
There you go. Right, Sabotage. I think the first time they made me list. The other people.
I knew you loved Sabotage, but I didn't know that you went this early. I thought you were more like a gutter ballet and.
I do love these 2 albums. I think this one and Gutter Ballet go really hand in hand as my favorite.
Oh, you do? Okay. Because I always thought Gutter Ballet was kind of a, you know, piano and stuff, and they kind of went
operatic,
a bit different stylistically than this. As you said, it's a bit more doomy and stuff. But
great track, absolutely brilliant track. Okay, track 7, Dom. What you got?
Track 7. We've already spoken about the album. This is Lizzie Borden, Visualize, and I have picked Lord of the Flies.
Oh, I love that song. What a riff. What a riff.
Yeah, what a riff. Great song. If I didn't have Manowar Fighting the World, I definitely would have put Me Against the World, because that is just a fantastic anthem. I love those anthems. Yeah. But it was a real toss between those 2. But Lord of the Flies is so strong, I don't feel bad about it. Just a great song, as you say, a great riff, terrific chorus. Just, I think he really I think, as you say, I don't know why people were so scared of like some sort of performance in the late 80s. I mean, it wasn't the grunge era, for God's sakes. I mean, they were still, but I guess it was all about Bon Jovi and looking pretty and, all that kind of stuff. And, but I think he's overlooked.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
His voice is very Dickinson-esque, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of that in it. Just a fantastic vocal, man. I love his voice. I really do. That's a great choice.
Well, there you go. If you've never heard it, try Visualize.
Yeah, that's the album. That is the album, Visualize. In my opinion, obviously, a lot of people like the earlier period where it's a bit more rougher, But Visualize is the one for me.
It's the one for me. Yeah.
Cool. Right, Jan, what you got, mate?
Cool. Well, we just talked about this album, and I put it up already. It's Halloween, Keep the 7 Keys, Part 1. This is one of the albums I could have picked any track off, but the outstanding track on here, apart from, Future World's great, and the Little Time's on here, isn't it? I'm Alive, Little Time, yeah. But it's the Halloween, not the epic title track, but it's a great track.
I am the one.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just got so many parts to it. It's fantastic. We talked about it before.
I love that song.
13-minute epic song. It's fantastic.
I mean, man, there's no let up in that song, is there? There's so many twists and turns in that one. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I know they brought out a single version. I don't know if you ever heard that. Did you watch the video version on MTV?
No, at that point, there's a short version.
Yeah. No. You needed everything in that. you needed everything in that. Absolutely brilliant.
It's the quickest 13 minutes of your life if you listen to that song.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Okay. I've got one that's this might please Dom, actually, just for the title alone.
Oh, it's going to have rock in the title.
So it's from White Lion.
Oh, yeah. All you need is rock and roll.
There you go. All you need is rock and roll off Pride. Yeah, this is a great album. Mike Tramp had I don't know, I liked his voice, but a lot of people, thought that was it's probably the weakest part of the band when you're talking the guitarist. He's just one of the most amazing guitarists ever. Vito Bratta, I think is pronounced. Who done a bit of a disappearing act at the moment, and he just doesn't want to know about rock and roll at all. But he was just like he's like Eddie Van Halen, wasn't he? Just had that, he could just go off on tangents and do anything on the guitar. But very catchy sort of song. This was a bit heavier, I think, this album, than maybe what was to come in the next couple.
Well, I would say definitely heavier than Big Game, but I wouldn't say heavier than Main Attraction, because that one is their heaviest.
Yeah, Main Attraction is my favorite album of theirs.
Me too.
Yeah, but Pride was definitely a lot stronger than what was to come with Big Game. Big Game sort of took out the electric almost out of the sound. It took away all the heaviness. But All You Need is Rock and Roll. It's a great song, fun, as in the title suggests. Yeah. Real pretty boy, wasn't he? This guy, Mike Tramp.
Yeah,
pretty boy.
I've heard that complaint about his voice as well, and I kind of get it, but he does have character to his voice. That's the thing. It's not, he's not singing, octaves and shit, but it's a distinctive voice. Yes. You certainly know it if you hear him sing. So I mean, for some singers, that's plenty.
I mean, they did drown it in echo on this album. His voice was just so echoey, as a lot of the bands were at the time. But there you go. So White Line, All You Need is Rock and Roll. Okay,
that's right. I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. Okay, so number 8 is, I haven't talked about them much yet, just because I think until this point they didn't really fit the remit for me for this program. But this is probably my favorite band of this era. I certainly followed them, and I've probably seen this band more than any other band. This is The Cult, their album Electric, and this is Love Removal Machine. This is kind of their breakout rock hit. Obviously, they were a bit rock before, guitar oriented, but a bit more psychedelic. But when this came screaming out, I was like, what the fuck has happened, Yeah,
great song.
And the video with him, oh, man. And they had the Cult and lights behind him, and they were just going for it, man. They were going for full rock and roll power, and I was all for it. So just a seminal song, Again, I've heard it 500 million times, and I still love it. So there you go. You'll be hearing a lot about The Cult more in the upcoming years for me. But Electric was just a phenomenal album, and it was, people made fun of them a lot, but it also sold a lot of records. So good for them.
Yeah. It was a big change for them, wasn't it? They went rock and roll, like you said, didn't they? Yeah.
Absolutely. And sorry, go ahead, Jim.
No, just say great album, great songs, some good songs on this album. Totally. I mean, they will be mentioned in my honourable mentions. So.
Okay. Cool. Okay, what you got in, Jen?
Slightly different. I've gone from the first, and definitely won't be the last, alternative metal, and it's Faith No More's second album, when they really hit the stride. This could be arguably my favourite album of '87, actually, and it's Introduce Yourself from Faith No More. Second album with Chuck Mosley on the vocals before Mike Patton came into the band, and it's the song is called The Crab Song. I don't know if you guys know it, but it starts off with actually sort of proper singing rather than, and then it goes into the beat, and then it goes into the usual sort of Faith No More sort of not really rapping, but their sort of style of singing, and it's just a great song. I could have pretty much picked anything off this album. This is one of the highlights. I did have Chinese Arithmetic in there which is I'll mention the honourable mentions. But this song is brilliant. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's just every bit as good as The Real Thing for me.
Oh, sorry.
There's Dio.
Hi, Dio. Oh. How are you?
Oh God, no licking. Oh, come on. I was going to say something when you was mentioning that. Song there. What? Sorry, he was just disturbing me. What was your actual choice of song? These Faith No More Crab song.
It's called the Crab Song.
I didn't actually hear much of that. I like the next couple of albums actually a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they may be mentioned. I don't know in my next few years. But Faith No More, I think Mike Patton's voice, when I heard that for the first time, I was quite amazed on that. The Real Thing. You know, that's what grabbed me about Faith No More. I think it was 90.
But you really like. Yeah, if you like that, like Introduce Yourself. I'm not really. The first album's not great from Faith No More, but the Introduce Yourself. This has got We Care a Lot on it. You probably heard that.
I've heard that. Yeah.
This is on. Well, it's actually on the first album. The first album's called We Care a Lot, but the actual version you've heard is on the second album, which is Introduce Yourself. If you know what I mean.
Okay.
But,
no, great. I mean,
anyway.
they brought something different, didn't they? To the. Yeah. I think the actual Real Thing was '89 actually, but I mean they actually brought something different to the whole genre, alternative, if you like, didn't they?
They did. Good stuff.
So, but still Sabbath fans, obviously.
Oh yeah, yeah. War pigs, and all that.
Exactly. Okay, great choice, mate. My number 8. This will be the last time I'll probably mention him. Stan Bush. Sure, a few of you might have heard of him, but he made an album with Stan Bush and Barrage. And it was called Stan Bush and Barrage. And it's a song called Take It Like a Man from the album. And it's a brilliant AOR melodic rock album. He's got a great voice, Stan Bush, as well. He's still got a great voice. He might not be making music as good as he did back then. If anyone doesn't know, The Touch was on this album, which was the Transformers soundtrack from the cartoon. Yep. So that might be where you've heard, I think he gets a bit sick of that, although it's obviously made him a lot of money, but he doesn't like to be known just as The Touch, that song.
Right.
But this, if you like your catchy, melodic, sort of AOR tinges, huge choruses, just like we mentioned earlier on all through this album. I could have chosen any song off this album as well. Stan Bush and Barrage, Take It Like a Man. Is absolutely superb.
I remember Kerrang loved that guy, man. You couldn't pick up an issue without seeing something about Stan Bush. They talked about him all the time.
If you haven't heard this song, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the people at home, obviously, because you won't bother listening. But when it first comes on, the little guitar lick at the beginning, and then it's just amazing. It's probably one of the heaviest songs on the album, even though we're not talking Metallica, we're obviously talking in that melodic rock genre. But Stan Bush and Barrage, Take It Like a Man. There you go.
Cool.
All right.
Is he Canadian?
I thought he was American, but he might be Canadian. He might be Canadian, mate. I'm not 100%.
Okay.
Dio likes him anyway. Look, Dio likes him because he's staying. He's waiting for your choice.
How you doing? Such a proper gentleman that one is. Proper gentleman. Okay, so number 9, King Diamond from Abigail, which is a real seminal album for him. Second solo album. But this one he's still doing. I saw him do a anniversary show where he did the whole album front to back. I don't know, decade ago or something. This is called The Black Horseman. I love there's a comment on YouTube video for this where they say every band has their Stairway to Heaven, and this is King Diamond's, and I can't really put it any better than that. It's about 7.5 minutes long. Lots of twists and turns, but quite palatable by King Diamond standards. A lot of people are turned off by his falsetto and stuff, but this is quite, I'm not going to say mainstream rock, but maybe one of the closest things he's ever come to that. But just a terrific track and a great album. A concept album, obviously, about ghosts and little girls and things like that.
Cool. I mean, there's a lot of massive, huge fans of King Diamond. An acquired taste, obviously.
Yeah.
Hear so much about him across all like platform YouTube channels. Just massive fan base, obviously.
I mean, even if you are not a fan of the vocal, if you can even kind of put that to the side, just the playing and the songwriting and the riffs are just incredible. So,
right, great choice. Okay, what you got your number 9, Jen?
Number 9. Well, we can't have a playlist without having a ballad on there. I'm going to go to probably my second favourite Motley Crue album. I know. You're all I need. Yeah, great song.
Yeah, I love that song, man. It's a good song.
Yeah, and it's a good album, Girls, Girls, Girls. I know when we talked about the live show, people were surprised that people liked it, but I think there's some great songs on it. I mean, Wild Side's one of the best Motley Crue songs they've done. Girls, 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 You're All I Need, Nona, Dancing on Glass.
Nona is one of your favorites?
Sorry?
Nona is one of your favorites?
Wow, I don't mind it. I don't mind. I don't mind any of the songs on it.
Yeah, I like the album. I thought it was a great album.
Yeah, songs good, yeah. Every time, even I don't even like Elvis, but I don't mind listening to Jailhouse Rock. But no, it's good, and it's one of my favourite ballads. Actually, I think You're All I Need. It's a fantastic song.
He could definitely fucking sing back then.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Talking about YouTube videos, did you see that one?
I did, yeah.
I think we might have spoken about that before, but oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're letting him do these solo gigs when they've got so much money put into this stadium tour that they're supposed to be doing, and he's supposed to be in great shape for this stadium tour, and now he's touring in Iowa or Utah or whatever, and of course it's going to be all over the internet, and it's gonna affect people's view of this huge stadium tour. They're not going to be best pleased if he shows up doing his wham bam balam bam, fat guy routine.
No, if great shape is being round, then he's definitely in that shape.
I mean, it's a different matter if you can't, if you can't reach them heights, which you couldn't. Obviously, a lot of singers can't now. But I mean, all right, take it down a level, sing all the fucking words, and main thing, don't give up halfway through and say, I can't do it, I'm sorry. If you get to that stage, that I'm all for going to bands. I realise that it's not fucking 1985 to go and see a band anymore, and it's not going to be the same. But at least do things so you can do the songs in full and you can sing the lyrics. Roth used
You need stamina to do that. You know what? You need stamina. And what else? I mean, he doesn't have to get up and go to work every day. He can get up and do an hour of exercise. Hire a chef.
Personal trainer,
not. No.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're that old, Roth wound me up at the end, not singing, not even following the melody. Just follow the melody at least. You know how the songs go. We've all heard them a million times. You the most. So just try to follow the melody of the song at least, not do your own fucking thing he was doing in the end. What the fuck was that all about? I don't know, but I still would have liked to have seen them. There you go. Still never got to see Van Halen anyway. But great choice, by the way, that one. Okay. Whose turn is it? Is it me?
You.
Thanks. Cheers. Okay, a bit more of an unknown one. This is one of them albums we talk about, or one of the bands we talk about, didn't get the notoriety or the sales, but are now looked on as a great album and a great band. And it's the band called Lion.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Doug Aldridge, yeah?
Yep. So it's Shout It Out from the Dangerous Attraction album. I mean, this is a great song. All of these songs, it's a bit like Icon, isn't it? Every song on the album was very solid, just didn't sell, hardly at all. Just a band in the plethora of all those sort of bands at the time, maybe a little bit later, that was the problem. A very Sykes-esque sort of riff at the beginning of this song. Great gang vocals, 80s, isn't it? There you go. Shout It Out from Dangerous Attraction. Just a great album, really. I recommend if anyone hasn't heard them because they were into the bigger bands at the time. This one's really worth checking out. I think they bought out not many albums, but they bought out a few, just a couple around about the period.
Did you get this at the time? Was this something that you read about in Kerrang? And
No, I didn't listen to this at all at the time. This came later on, probably only a year ago.
All right, yeah, cool.
Same with Icon, same thing. I didn't listen to them at the time either. So there you go. All right, there you go, guys.
Well, that just proves even more. We talked about, is this nostalgia that we think it's so great, but if it's something you never heard until about a year ago, that just means it's good because there's no nostalgia attached to it at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So
the funny thing is, though, there's definitely still nostalgia attached, even though I haven't heard it because of that sound.
Well, I guess, but
you know what I mean. This is Lion and Icon have got that. There's no mistake in it. If you've never heard them before and they came on, you didn't know it was, you would know that's fucking mid-80s, or that's around it. It's just but I mean, a lot of the bands now are bringing out stuff. I put so much stuff, apart from if you recommend it, on my playlist. Sometimes it comes on, I have to check who it is, and it's because I'm thinking, that sounds like an 80s band, and it's an album that came out last year. So there's still some bands capturing that sound.
And it's usually from Sweden.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Sweden have something in their water, man. I don't know what it is, but man, they can write a tune.
They can, but I think there's becoming a problem with it now as well, that we're getting a lot of them, and
too much.
Yeah, and the vocalists are starting to sound similar, and that's probably that problem we had back in the 80s, where there was too much of it, and then I don't think it'll go away now because it's not that sort of time anymore. It's not the biggest thing in the world, is it? Metal,
right?
But it's just too much. There's similar vocalists now, similar song structures, and it's getting hard to notice the difference between some of the bands. There you go.
Right.
Oh. Right. Okay.
Too much of a good thing, I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
Number 10, I finally get to talk about one of my all-time heroes. This is the band UDO. This is Udo Dirkschneider, his first solo album after Accept. This song is called Run for Cover, and it's from the album Animal House. I love this guy. I think he's just been so solid over the years. If anybody doesn't know, he's got, I think, 16 UDO albums now. So, he's just kept on chugging this whole time. He's never quit. And some are better than others, obviously, but especially these first three kind of still have a Accept kind of feel and late 80s production to them. He gets a bit kind of heavier in the 90s and 2000s, but this is great. This is Run for Cover. It's kind of a very kind of I don't know how to put it really. It's if I could maybe kind of Princess of the Dawn kind of, just that kind of that really kind of riff that goes through the whole thing. Really great song though. So UDO, go Udo. I am definitely team Udo when it comes to
all I'll say as well, I haven't heard all of Udo's albums, but I would say that the one I have heard, and it really has a good Accept feel, and I think it sort of went harken back, was Steel Factory from a few years ago.
Yes, great album. Really like that one. I would recommend these first three: Animal House, Faceless World, and Mean Machine. Because he had just come out of the band and he was definitely trying to kind of get that sound together. Great. But I love the guy.
Excellent, mate. Excellent. Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, what you got in, Jan?
Right, I'm going to go to the biggest album of the year. I know you said you weren't going to mention it, but I definitely am. Appetite for Destruction. For me, obviously, the songs that are overplayed are overplayed. I don't need to listen to them ever again. But for when I first heard it, some of the songs were overplayed. My favourite songs were It's So Easy, Out to Get Me, Night Train, and this one, You're Crazy. They've always been my favourite songs on the album, and they're the ones, luckily, that aren't overplayed all the time. That's it. Track 10 is You're Crazy. This brilliant song, fast-paced, There's actually 3 versions of this, because there's the acoustic version on the Lies album, but there's also, I've got an EP. I couldn't find it. It must be put away somewhere. I think it's a Out to Get Me EP. I think it might be a German import or something, but it's got a different acoustic version of You're Crazy, which was obviously recorded first. So there is actually a 3rd version of You're Crazy, but I prefer the electric full out rock and roll classic that it is on the Appetite for Destruction. So great song, not overplayed.
Well, we couldn't go 87 without mentioning the album.
Yeah,
you know, it's
exactly.
It's a great debut album, isn't it? Some say the best album ever recorded, but you know, it's a lot of people think highly of that, and no wonder. Sold absolutely shitloads of albums. There you go. Okay, I'm going to a band called Shy, Birmingham band from Birmingham in the UK. The late Tony Mills on vocals, who's a great vocalist. Actually took over in TNT for a little while. And it's the song Telephone from Excess All Areas, which is probably it's probably known as their best album, although I actually preferred the one before, Brave the Storm. But this is an absolutely fantastic song on a brilliant AOR melodic rock album. I love Tony Mills' vocals. I think he was absolutely brilliant. He's one of them singers that could sing naturally high, a bit like Tony Harnell, really. No wonder that TNT wanted him in the band, because he's got a very similar sort of style where he'd naturally sing high. But a great tone, not one of those, you do get high vocalists, don't you? They're quite annoying sometimes, but he definitely ain't one of them. You know, he's a great vocalist, the late Tony Mills. Absolutely love his voice. But Telephone by Shy. A great album.
That's a great album. Yeah. Actually, I was, as my number 11, I was going to have a track from Shy because I was going off my iTunes, and it's track 11. But then I looked it up, and it's a bonus track from a reissue version of the CD, so I couldn't really put it on. I mean, I guess I don't know. Could I have Jam?
I don't have a problem, I don't think, with having a bonus track. I mean, as long as it's if it's after the original track listing, as long as it's a bonus track, I don't think there's a problem with that, is there?
No.
But they're always going to be
it's like a B-side, you know, it's like a B-side. But now it's track number 11, but it's on a reissue CD, so it's not the original track order or anything. So I thought that wouldn't really go down well.
I don't know. I think if it's after the original track listing, it's okay. If it sort of replaces track 5, then obviously it gets a bit confusing, doesn't it? But
there is something that supersedes all these rules. Try and pick something that we wouldn't know, and then just make it up as you go along.
Yeah.
But if I had picked Shy, then you know the album, and you know it probably only has 10 tracks.
Maybe on that one, yeah. But if you said it was,
you would have thrown me out with the trash.
I would have messaged you afterwards. Don't tell Jan, but I know.
Oh no, you would call me on it right away. It would be forever imprinted on the video.
Okay, I think we're at the last track. We're at Dom on the track 11.
Yeah, track 11. Okay, I'm going back on I know I said that I wasn't going to put any tracks of bands that we've already covered on our all killer band lists, but obviously being track 11, we wouldn't have had this on any of our lists, and I just love the song so much. It's kind of a lost single for them. It's Wasp with Scream Until You Like It, which is the only studio track from Live in the Raw. I just had to break the rules, or my own personal rules, and put that on there just because, you know, they never do it live or anything. And there is a video and everything, and, you know, it was played enough when it came out. But
was this the soundtrack? Was it a soundtrack on it?
Yeah.
Well,
and we've established that it's Ghoulies.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
When you
I thought it was Critters.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Scream Until You Like It. Terrific anthem. And as I said, man, you never hear that anywhere. It's just great. It's kind of their lost single. So there you go.
Great one, mate. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's actually Ghoulies 2, apparently, not Ghoulies 1. According to
this. It is Ghoulies 2. You are correct.
Yeah. Anyway, that's obviously I've got the same track. I knew as soon as we had 11, I knew we could have it. We mentioned it, didn't we? Before we said on the Wasp list we're only going up to 10. We couldn't have it, but Screaming to You Like It, great song.
Excellent.
Great video. Yeah, so that's good.
You got him once, Dom, not 4 times. But you got him.
No, that's really good because nobody really speaks about the song. So for 2 of us to pick it, then that must be a good seal of approval there.
Definitely. Okay, I've actually mentioned this band in this episode, but not actually, obviously, the band itself. TNT is Tell No Tales, the title track.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is a fast song, and I know I'm not usually into these fast songs, but it was a bit strange because they obviously, anyone who knows TNT, they're very melodic, aren't they? And they do these very catchy songs. This is just full on Guitar Hero stuff as well. Mental vocals by Tony Harnell, just like almost like a thrash song. Mm-hmm. TNT doing thrash, if you like, but really mental guitar work on this. And Ronnie Letecro was just, well, it still is, an amazing guitarist. And this is all about both. It's about the vocals and the guitar because it just shows how high can Tony Harnell sing, and how amazing can Ronnie Letecro play, and it just showcases both of those things. It's nowhere near my favourite track on the album, but I was looking at track 11s, and this is easily the strongest one for me. So that's how it ended up at number 11. But there you go. That's my list done, guys. Okay.
All right.
Honourable mentions.
Yeah, I'll go through these quick. I also had White Lion Pride on mine. Couldn't fit anything on there, but man, some really strong singles obviously on that. I would have liked either Wild Side or Girls, Girls, Girls. I do think those are 2 of their best singles, obviously, but as far as the rest of the album, there's really only 8 tracks on there if you take out the live cover and the 2-minute Nona. It's kind of a short album, so it's not my favorite, but I definitely think that Wild Side is one of their best albums. We have Great White with Once a Bitten, which they had been around for a couple albums, but this was their big major label push for this one. Really good album. What a singer Jack Russell was, or is, I guess. The first Macaulay Schenker came out, Perfect Timing, which is a really strong album. I don't think anybody really thought it was going to be much, but I think it kind of proved people wrong. Terrific, really good stuff on there. Just couldn't find any room for it. And then Ace Frehley with Frehley's Comet. You can call it his first solo album if you don't count the Kiss one from '78. So he had been out in the wilderness for quite a few years by this point, but came out with a pretty strong album. Rock Soldiers, Into the Night. I think he kind of proved the naysayers wrong that he could actually put it together and make some good music again. So there you go. That's all my honorable mentions.
Right, man. Okay, Jam.
Cool. Well, track 1, we got Black Sabbath, Eternal Idols. Good album. First one with Tony Martin in, and The Shining, the first track there is really, really good. In fact,
to the Shining.
Brilliant album. That could have had some stuff off there. No one mentioned Whitesnake. First track here is Still the Night in the English version. UK version, I know it's different than the US version. So it's a classic album from '87.
Is it? Still the Night is the opener on that.
Yeah.
Still the Night is the opening track. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
We find it weird that you know that it ain't any different because it's just it gets embedded, doesn't it? You know.
It is.
Wow. Yeah, Crying in the Rain is the opener for.
Yeah, Still the Night over here.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
There you
go.
Sister Mercy, Dominion, Mother Russia would have been good number 1. Anthrax, Caught in Mosh number 2. Guns N' Roses, It's So Easy. I'll Fight Hell to Hold You, Kiss, great number 2s. Number 3, Cult, Little Devil from Electric. That's really good. A Little Time from Halloween. Number 4, Chinese Arithmetic from Faith No More mentioned. Get Out to Get Me, Guns N' Roses. Number 5, Disc Corrosion from Sister Mercy. Number 6, I had Sabotage, Paul the Mountain King. It was nearly in my list, but I'm not a massive fan, but it's a good song. And Future World I also had as an honourable mention from Halloween. 7, we've not mentioned Hysteria. I know we've done the Def Leppard list, but Gods of War was one that I think we all liked. Track 7 nearly got in the list, but we've already had it. Number 8, I had Love Removal Machine as well, and Reason to Live from Kiss. And then number 9, I had Marillion. The only other ones to mention is Bad News come out. I know. Remember Bad News?
Damn, Bad News.
The comic
I
strip.
can't believe that didn't make your call killer.
Well, most of it's just them arguing and shouting at each other. There's not really anything you can call a song
track,
of that.
you know?
There's a few songs, but and
it's heavy metal, heavy fucking metal. I fucking love Bad News, man.
It's great, and I love the videos as well and all that. Lost Boys soundtrack come out this year. And that was good. It had Jimmy Barnes and In Excess with Good Times is quite a cool song, and then Cry Little Sister's a really good song, and I think LA Guns have done a cover version of it, which is pretty good as well. And Ramones had an album out, but not my favourite, Halfway to Sanity. So
would this be the first year without the Ramones?
Could be. When they've released an album, yeah, definitely.
When they've released an album, yeah. This is wild.
Yeah. It's all right, the album. It's just not my favourite songs on it.
Okay. You all done, mate?
Yep.
Okay, I will mention odd tracks, but Anthrax Among the Living, I was disappointed in the album, but could have had a couple of tracks off it, but just not quite good enough for me after spreading the disease. I was going to mention Sabbath Eternal Idol just because of Mark Clower, because I'm glad you mentioned, because he would have gone fucking mental if you didn't mention it. It's his favourite album of all time, I believe. There you go.
And we even serenaded him as well. So
yes.
That
Def
goes out to
Leppard,
you, Mark.
exactly. Def Leppard, Hysteria. You know, I mean, no matter what, I'm gonna upset Darren now. Yeah. I know he's nearly walked out on me or he mentioned something about Hysteria, and at the end of the day, I was thinking about this too much. So he said that, you know, what do you expect after everything that happened and to Rick Allen and all that? Songwriting, as far as I'm concerned. So if you like what you like, Pyromania was just fucking pure from track one to the end. It was just pure heavy rock done at the best, and it was groundbreaking as well. Hysteria just didn't grab me the same, and it still doesn't now, although I appreciate it and I like some of the songs on it. I like a lot of the songs on it. It just isn't as good, and I think that's why a lot of these tracks I'm leaving off, because I sort of, when a band ain't making an album just as good, it sort of puts me off for putting them on my list. I don't know, I'm like thinking they've had better, so they're not going to go on my fucking list. That's my error, I think. And that's why Dio didn't make it as well. Dream Evil, nothing off of there, because that was for me disappointing as well. Guns N' Roses, just a bit like Hysteria. Just I loved it at the time, but just can't even saying the names of the songs. It's just fun. Just too much.
I just gagging a little bit.
Yeah, I just imagine that fucking riff at the beginning of Welcome to the Jungle. Just fucking hell, no, not again. Anyway, the one I really wanted to include was Halloween, something off of there, but I'm glad you did anyway.
We got you covered, mate.
Yeah. It's like this next one, Kill. That album wasn't quite as good as the Final Frontier, their self-titled album, so I didn't want to include anything off of that. Kiss Crazy Nights I had down, but there's a lot more I preferred. Manowar, I would like to blow your speakers with rock and roll. I would have liked to have that.
That's a good one too, yeah.
Crew did a good album, like you said. Girls. Whitesnake 1987. I've got to mention them, but again, that for me was went downhill compared to what they had before, especially from Slide It In, the best album, and then they went downhill. YMT, Contagious, they went downhill. A lot of bands for me were they've reached their peak already and were dropping. And I would have liked to have had Over the Hills and Far Away from Gary Moore. Yeah. But it just didn't make it. I like the album actually, Wild Frontier. It's a good album. Very sort of influenced, like an Irish influence running through that whole album, really. But good. But Gary Moore was never at the top of my, you know what I mean? He was always there in my childhood and I liked him, but he was never like, Gary Moore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just one of those things.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, okay, that's it. Great, guys. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people going to comment, and 87 Hopefully. Will be as popular as 86.
Yeah, got top 100 and 200 people, was it? Last time, 190 or something.
That's good. That's our most so far, I think.
I think so.
It's got to be the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, we're just catching on like wildfire, man.
That's it.
I think it is.
You just wait until we get to like 91 or something. It's going to be just skyrocketed views.
5 people.
500 maybe.
I don't know. What do you think, guys? I mean, I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm getting worried about these future years. I'm not going to back out or anything, but we might have to have like 5 tracks or something.
Wouldn't that be funny if you were just like, I just can't even do a list this time. I'll just listen to yours.
You know what? I think it's going to make it fun because it'll be like, I liked this song. I fucking hate it now, but I've got nothing else to choose. That's what it's going to be.
I think it's going to be a little bit easier because I've been going through the next few years and it's so chock full of stuff. And I'm leaving off stuff that is just unbearable that I think it's going to be refreshing to only have, say, 10 or 20 to choose from because you really have to break it down. So we'll see.
88, I've already had to leave off 3 of my favorite albums. I just decided to not put
I know,
it's
insane.
I just said at the end, talk about them.
Great. It's terrible.
Yeah. I can't wait. 88's going to be really good, actually.
And 89 as well.
You got some real good classic albums in 88. Yeah, gotta admit. Cool. What song do you choose? Some of them are just perfect, them albums, but there you go. Yeah. All right, then, guys.
Okay. Yep. Until next time.
Yeah.
Cheers,
See you later. Bye. Bye.
Cheers.